edition of ACB Caribbean Coach's View. This afternoon we're going to speak to Ralston Chish Phillip, former national cricketer, and now he is the mainstay, the man in CV Farm who has brought cricket back. He has been trying for a while to make sure that CV Farm get back on the swing of things with cricket, and he has done so quite successfully. We're going to speak to him about that and about the future plans for CV Farm and sports, especially cricket. Also, we're going to talk to him about Parish League and where Parish League should be going in terms of cricket. But before we do so, we'll let you know who our sponsors are. Obviously, our platinum sponsor, ACB Caribbean, Simply Smarter Banking. They have partnered with Parish League Cricket for 43 or more years, and we want you to visit them for all your banking and financial needs. Seco Pharmacy, for all your medicinal and pharmaceutical needs. It's Seco Pharmacy. They're located right there on High and Temple Street. Plumbing Electrical Limited, with a wide variety and assortments of plumbing and electrical fittings, whether your needs are wholesale or retail. Make sure to visit them. They are bordering on the Potters Herberts community. Zen Body and Skincare, Brands for Less, Digicel, Bigger Better Network. They are also some of our sponsors. So again, we want to welcome you. And before we even introduce our guests, we're going to have a look at our coaching skill for today. And every Wednesday we discuss one of our coaching skills so that our coaches who are listening, who are watching, can understand what it needs and how we can make them better in terms of working with the young people here in Antigua and Barbuda and around the Caribbean. So the coaching skill for today is how to build rapport. And we're going to look at the 4 areas we want to focus on when you want to build rapport. 1, learn and use the participant's name. Very important, coaches, that you refer to your athletes on a first name base. Let them feel that you actually know them. You know, he's calling by my first name. That means he knows me, he knows I'm here. No, you're saying, hey, you, or boy, or a girl. Call them by their first name. Learn their first name. Obviously, one of the things that we used to do when we just get a fresh batch of boys or girls, we used to give them name tags for the first couple of days. So by a week or so, we know exactly who is who. It makes them feel appreciated, and it makes them feel that you're actually paying them some personal attention. Smile and make eye contact with each participant. That is very important. Let them know that you're looking at them. Make them know that you feel pleasant, you're happy that they're there, that you welcome them there. Show them a nice smile. The third one, the coach, the person rather than the sport. So again, coach the person. Don't just go and coach whatever sport it is that you're coaching. Coach the person. So it simply means you got to deal with their needs. Every individual is different. Just don't go and do a general session. Make sure you pay attention to each individual. The last one, show interest and respect for each participant and others. So that just basically covers the first 3 in a broader sense. Make sure we respect everyone and show appreciation for them. So that is our coaching skill for the day, how to build rapport as a coach. So we introduce Ralston Chish Phillip. Good afternoon to you, Chish.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you doing?
All right.
All right. We see that, thanks for coming anyway. We see that CV Farm is back in the fray of things. How long has it been before, since CV Farm has played cricket?
Yeah, it's been roughly over 35 years. 30 years, sorry.
Wow, over 30 years. So we're talking about what?
97, just about.
Wow, that is a long time. Some of these young people in this room wasn't even born as yet.
Not even an idea.
Right. You know, and it must make you feel good to know to see people in CV Farm playing cricket and watching cricket again.
Yes, it does. I mean, that's one of my sport I love, truly. You know.
What was it like? What were some of the challenges that you went through to sort of get this program back up in Seaview Farm?
Challenges was, I would say, assistance from the community. You know, there are people that just talk the talk and doesn't really walk the walk. And I'm somewhat of a determined person, so I try not to wait on people to do things that I'm able to do for myself. So I just took it upon myself to, whether or not it's going to, you know, have some assistance greatly or not, I'm just going to push on and see how far I get with it. You know, that's basically it.
And for you personally, what was it like last weekend when the umpires called play?
Well, I mean, it was refreshing. I mean, I didn't have to travel out the village to go nowhere to be playing cricket for after how many years I've been out, you know, back and forth to Pickards, which is also my second home, you know, to Mahaiku, to All Saints, you know, just Bethesda. You know, it's been right at home, you know, step outside and you're right there in the park.
What was it the turnout like? Because I myself didn't even realize that Parish League cricket was starting. I think it was on Saturday that I heard that. But what was and you played in Pickards. You played in Seaview Farm. You played one game?
Yeah, one game, the first game.
Right. And what was the turnout like?
It wasn't I was hopeful for more people, but I mean, we satisfied with what came out because, I mean, I know the weather might have played a part in how things played out also. So, you know, it's just a feel out to see what it's going to be like. You know, hopefully we're hoping to at least pull up a win and see what the cone would have been like on our next game on Saturday. So, but, you know, we see how we gradually build and, you know, the cause will come out eventually.
And you're happy that enough people in Seaview Farm is now showing a little bit of interest?
Yeah, I think just the past 2 days, 2 youngsters come up to me and say, you know, they like to be a part, they believe they can make the team, so that's an inspiration right there, you know.
So you've started, you've actually playing cricket. Obviously you have long, medium, and short-term plans. What I want to focus on are the short-term and the medium-term plans. I know maybe the long-term plans are, you know, maybe getting the field done, maybe building infrastructure and so forth. But what is it by the end of the year, which is a short-term plan, this December, where would you like Seaview Farm cricket to be, or Seaview Farm sports? What are some of the things that you would like to see by the turn of the next year?
Are you speaking of just cricket or essentially?
Well, you can focus on cricket, but if there's something differently in terms of sports in general, you can also give us a little snippet. But we can focus on the cricket for now.
Well, presently, our drive is to try and form a sports club. You know, covering a few disciplines. You know, football, basketball, and cricket. Hopefully, we could get lawn tennis on the map also. You know. But for now, the energy that I have put into cricket, I'm hoping to propel that into even basketball, to bring that back also, you know, and it's a start, you know, you have to start somewhere. To say into next year, we driving, I'm looking to say we could get basketball somewhere down later in the year. I don't know when the season actually starts, but I do a little basketball at times in my free time, and I see young guys with skills out there, and I think we should need to tap in more into the youths, you know, generally in our communities to bring out them skills that they have.
We've always talked about the school sports isn't what it was. Is it time that maybe Parish League take the mantle and maybe target the youth program, because all of the villages that play in Parish League, you know, there are about 6 teams.
Yeah, just right.
And now, I know a team like John Hughes and so forth, they missed out because they probably didn't realize that meetings were being called. And I know that St. Paul's and the Liberta Sports Club, they were trying to see if they could do something together to make sure that they have a team as well, some of the youngsters from the community, along with some of the other guys from St. Paul's. And so all of the villages that play, all of them have a primary school. And I'm wondering now, if the time isn't now that we sort of do a couple of workshops with the guys who play in these teams, because most of the guys are now playing for recreational purposes and for fun. So if we could run a little workshop and get them interested in how to work with some of the youngsters, and they target each school in the different villages and see if we can come up with something like a parish league, maybe youth league or youth program.
Well, you got a point there. One of my aims though is to kind of have a juvenile cricket. I grew up playing juvenile cricket alongside William Cornwall and Chester Joseph and Ricky Christopher and stuff like that. And I don't know how we fall off so badly, you know, because I mean the population is getting bigger,
right,
but the sport is getting smaller. You know, I've had situations where I think personally, we have leave too much say in the minister's hands when it regards to sports. That's my personal opinion. And I mean, some of them maybe not even kick a football or bowl a ball, bat a ball. So we can't expect that kind of drive from some of them, I believe. You know, so we, as sports personnel, I think we have to take the mantle, as you're doing in Liberta.
But what about the associations? What part do they have to play? Because they don't really rely on ministers, and they don't need the minister's permission either to do community programs or to do programs under the auspices. So maybe we need to have a look as well in the association and see why they're not pushing for these type of tournaments and these type of programs as well.
The association, you mean the cricket association? Yes. That governs Parish League and both, or it doesn't govern Parish League? Because
no, the cricket association really doesn't govern Parish. I think right. Parish League have their own committee, but either the cricket association or Parish League, they wouldn't necessarily need a sports minister's permission or blessings to put on such a program, because there have been such programs being put on before.
Okay. I don't know the politics of that situation. I can only speak to what being on the ground.
I think that the youth programs that you're probably looking at are maybe the school programs that are governed by the Ministry of Sports. Now, community sports, you know, is not necessarily governed by the ministry. You and I can come together and say, look, you know what? We're going to go to these teams and we're going to ask all of them to have an under 13 team, and we're going to start a little league or a little program. We can call it whatever we want. All we have to do is to get the blessings from the association and say, look, we want to form this. We want you to give us our blessings, so it doesn't seem like if we're doing a rebel league. Once they sanction it, then we can go ahead and do that. Ask them to support it and maybe eventually to come in and run it even further. But anything out of school, I don't think you necessarily need the politicians or the minister, which is good, because like you say, we are not seeing any kind of commitment, any kind of passion, any kind of interest from the politicians to empower people,
right?
So they can develop the young people of this country.
That's a fact. I mean, there's a lot going on in CU Farm, as you know. I try to keep a balance on both sides, you know, because they say that's the silly season, so I try not to lean on one side and the other, you know. I mean, persons have come to me, approach me, ask me, you know, if I need assistance, they will assist and stuff like that. But I try to get the players to give the support more so than the thing. I mean, we have, as you mentioned some time ago, we have one of the best view of a sporting facility on the island, if not the best, one of the best. We have a basketball complex, we have a lawn tennis complex, and it's just been there. There's no team, it's just there. Anybody could just come off the road and walk in, drive in, use it. If it gets damaged, nobody pay for nothing. But there's no account of nothing.
But what about the I know some time ago you were talking about a sports club. Where is that?
Well, we just concluded on our bylaws. We already have the name approved from Intellectual Properties and we just looking to get into membership to have a.
You
elections.
want to share that with us? What is the name that is going to be called?
Oh, Sea Farm Sports Club
Okay.
Incorporated.
Okay, good. So you're hoping that that body, so you have registered, and you're now looking at membership.
Yeah.
But how are you going to go about that now? Because you now have a name, you now have a skeleton, you have your bylaws. So what's the next step in terms of getting people to start to realize that there is such a name as a CV farm, and it needs people to come in and to start to manage and start to administrate?
Well, we have a small little interim committee, and we're hoping to create some flyers and stuff like that, and probably go house to house and do some campaigning, if you want to call it that, for the sport, let them know that, even people in CFR didn't even realize that cricket has been back in CFR,
Right.
And that's not a good sound if you ask me, but like I say, last weekend was a tryout. Hopefully next weekend we could get people that understand what we're trying to get at, be more, committed to wanting to assist in some way or be a part of something, to be positive. You're not having to use them on the corner, let them be a part, because some of these people have children, we out there, I was at practice sometime last week and 5 kids came out of nowhere and just wanted to be a part of the practice, and that's 5 school kids right there.
Normally, one of the challenges that we normally have is ground maintenance and ground preparation. How has that been going? What type of assistance you've been getting in terms of getting the young people involved and teaching them what is required and teaching them how to pull a roll and how to put the grass on and so on?
To be honest, it's been a little bit of a challenge. When they're on the ground, they come and assist, but it's so difficult to kind of get them out of the house for the early morning, and so, so what I've been trying to do is, like, when we finish practice at nights, we try to prepare it for the next day, like I say, I have a committed guy there, is very committed, Jarvis, Alfred, don't know if you know him.
I've seen him on the park a couple of times, and I figured that he was the one that was assisting with the...
Yeah, he's really assisting with Goins work, and so, he's also a player too, so he's trying to pick himself eventually, But also in terms of assistance, on a major scale, it hasn't been there per se. What has been happening is I have some machinery I use to keep the park clean. I try not to go outside to get people from outside. If I have somebody in the village that can do it, I will ask. Sometimes they charge a fee. Most times, I would say. Sometimes I get a favor, but it's a challenge when you have to do it on a regular, and then you understand that there's somebody that's supposed to be cutting it who gets paid from the government, and then the minister will come and tell you that he's the control of the field, and then you wonder, well, okay, when does he control the field? Is only when there's a marketplace or when the grass needs cutting. You figure what I'm saying? So there's
hold on. Who controls the field?
I understand the minister told me he controls the field.
That he controls the field? What is the field called? CV Farm what?
That's what I know. I spend more than 3/4 of my life on that field playing sports, so I don't understand how. I even see Johnny come lately, but that's pretty much it.
And obviously, you didn't tell him where to go.
No, I try to respect as much as I can.
Okay. Well, at the end of the day, I guess that everybody have to get on, but I think that we have to understand that a sports field should be controlled by a sporting organization.
That's what my belief is.
And I'm just hoping that when the community comes out and vote to have the sports club CV Farm Sports Club, that one of the mandates that they would vote for is that CV Farm Sports Club is responsible for the upkeep and the development of CV Farm Sports Field.
Well, hopefully, I would agree to that 100%. I mean, just last night after training, I saw a pickup drive in the park, and I was like, who's that? And then I realized it was the minister, and apparently somebody told him that I'm erecting some permanent structures on the field. I mean, I built some wood structures to kind of shelter, in case the weather comes and the sun. You don't want nobody, players and teams, to be sitting down in the sun just blatantly, and they have to go feed a bat in the sun again. And I just really erected them and had them there. He told me that, I need to I should come and dialogue with them about that. I said, they're not permanent. There's things that you can just take up and move.
What I can say to you, Trish, what I can say to you is that I don't know where that minister or who that minister is that thing, but I think it is sports. I think it is the director of sports is the one that's responsible. I can tell you that. I know it. I am telling you that it is the director of sports. No other minister can come and tell you anything about any field. It has to be the Ministry of Sports, and it has to be the director who can give you permission to erect or not to erect, whatever it is. So I am suggesting to you that you go and see Heather Samuels, and once she said that you can put up your little temporary structures, is that nobody can tell you otherwise. I think that people need to understand their role and know their role. And if it is Michael Brown who you're talking about, I think he's out of place. I think he needs to go and be responsible for what portfolio. I don't think he's a minister of sports, and that is a sporting facility. No, but we have to be honest.
I understand.
He is not the minister of sports, and so he should not be the one coming and saying anything about that. So I think it is the Ministry of Sports who normally would give someone permission to use a ground, or when they were the MOUs, it was the Ministry of Sports who were responsible for the MOUs and those type of things. If you were to look, and I have it right here, if you were to look at the budget, I can outline to you a number of grounds and facilities, well, mostly facilities, that the Minister of Sports spoke about doing some work on. I didn't see any other minister speaking about sporting facilities. And so that is very strange to me, that one particular minister, who is what, the Minister of Happiness? He needs to go and keep people happy.
Well, I mean, I'm not happy. I'm on the edge personally when it comes to doing things around there. Because, I mean, he mentioned to me that, not last night, he told me he was controlled. He told me that a few months back. And I said, you know what, let me take a break from maintaining the field. And then the field got, everything got haywire. Grasses started going up again and whatever. And I said, okay, where's this gentleman to keep the field maintained? And a few months after that, I saw a few guys come out and cut the field again. And I said, okay, maybe he's back on the island, probably he was away. Only to realize that a marketplace was going to be put there the next day, So I was like, okay, this is going to be maintained when an event is going to be there for him, or it's going to be maintained for the community. I am suggesting that you get your body in place as soon as possible. You take full control of that facility. That is a community facility. It is not a facility to be controlled by no minister. I am just giving you my 2 cents on that. What about the football? I know that there was a football club. The CV Farm is very much into football. Have they bought into the wholeness of having a one body, maybe managing or administering sports in CV Farm? Well, yes. We invited the president. She has been to a few meetings, and she's well on board. She's happy to know that something else is happening in CV Farm. She herself has been under a lot of strain to keep the football alive for some time now, and to have this body with directors and such, other people taking roles in the game other than burning down one person. She's happy for that, I can say.
And so those people who have, because there are going to be three sets of people. There are going to be some people who don't say anything. There are going to be some people that have all the wonderful things to say. And there are going to be some people who have the negative things to say. What are you hearing? Obviously, you're on the ground in CV Farm. You're the man doing all the work. You know, what are you hearing? Are you hearing good things? Are you hearing mixed feelings? What is it that are you hearing about trying to get sports, organized in CV Farm?
Well, to be honest, it's more positive, to be honest with you. I haven't really gotten no negative from no person, no community, person that live in the community regarding it, not negative, like I say, just like I'm on edge to know what to do next, because if the minister has this control, I am not one to commit to something that I'm not comfortable with, not knowing where, because I'm not in this to give nobody no mileage other than the community. No minister, nobody like, looking for a politician to think. I'm looking this for the community. I'm in this for the community. You get me? So it's kind of a walking on needles.
I think, and if I may just say again, you need to go and see the director of sports. I think you need to do that very soon and say to her is that CV Farm is now playing cricket, and you would like the permission to look after the facility and whatever help that they can assist and so on. And I'm sure she's not going to have any problem in saying, hey, well, fine, if the community wants to do that, then they don't have a problem, because I think that what you're telling me is the first I'm hearing that in all of my life.
I haven't told much people about the situation. I mean, a young man was there last night and witnessed what happened,
Yeah.
and he was like, that's what he stopped calling you for, like, yeah. I said, yeah, I mean, just a petty thing, It's not like I ain't about name and fame. I'm just looking there to establish something.
Well, after 35 years, you have brought sports in terms of cricket back into CV Farm. And so all of these people who are showing interest, I'm sure they'll be happy to know that the grounds will be kept cut, and so I don't think that would be something that they would want to hear. So I think you need to get the message out there and let the people, do the talking for you, because what you don't want is that you have a game and then next thing you see somebody setting up to have a market. And so it has to be clear as to who makes the decision.
Right.
And so you're now saying, after all these years of working on the field and getting the young people out and preparing pitches and so forth, is that you're willing to relinquish that because of some false claim, because it is a false claim. Because I think the Ministry of Sports is responsible for the sporting facilities in Antigua and Barbuda, and I know that for a fact.
I mean, it goes a little deeper than just what I'm talking. I mean, because, for example, we just, there was some cleaning done, some digging out done on the basketball court area to resurface where we have the soil or whatever, and it was dug out. A lady got her hand broken, and the place is still like that, so it's just crazy, it's just crazy. But then the name is brandished all over the blackboard, and so, that I'm the one who's doing this, I'm the one who's doing that.
And there's no paint?
Of course, it is a lot of times I thought of it, but like I said, I ain't go about to disrespect nobody like that. It's just something I don't understand why it has to be. I mean, we can't abuse them just playing political games. Just free up the place and let everybody benefit, Because I'm not here to coach or play with you people or ALP people.
I think that we as citizens need to understand that when it is time to move away from that type of thinking, and sometimes we have to put our foot down and stand up to some of these behaviors and some of these thinking that these people try to enforce on us. I think the time is right that we know what we want, and if we're doing community programs and we're dealing with community people, I think that we have to make it clear that we're not going to be dictated to, or we're not going to be used. And so I think it is very important for your committee to get to understand exactly what is happening, and to sit down maybe and have a talk with the gentleman and let him know that the community facilities will be always there, whether he is in Parliament, yes or no. And so he cannot dictate what happens, because when he leaves, it will be still on your shoulders.
Exactly.
You have to be the one. And I think that it is not a matter of disrespect. It is a matter of getting it clear as to who is responsible and who the decision maker should be. I think he gotta understand my role is to assist. Whatever direction they want to go, my role should be an assisting role in terms of giving them support so that they can make the community better. You know, and I think that I don't want to say this, but don't get weak, get stronger. And let him know that, listen, no, it's not going to work like that. We have to sit down, and you have to understand that your role is a supporting role. You are working for us. So when we call on you to get so-and-so, you go out there and try and bust your behind to make it happen for us, not for you.
Let's not use that word.
You know, behind. Behind, like back. And I think that we have to start to understand that that is the way that is got to be. And it doesn't matter who the person, even though it is not a politician, even though it is a business person, they have to understand that the people in the community are the ones that dictate and determine what direction the facilities go, how they're used, because they're the ones who are managing it, they're the ones who are going to look after it, and they're the ones who are going to always be there. So I think that we have to be very, 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 very clear. And the quicker that is done, I think it is the better.
Funny enough, though, he used the word last night of dialogue with him about doing things out there. And I could remember seeing a stand was about to be erected on the west side of the field. Now, if that stand was there, we wouldn't have no cricket on the park, because the stand was pretty much on the field itself. You know, there's one up there that at the basketball court, between the basketball court and the cricket field, and I think it's just a waste of material. You know, there's no bathroom facility up there up to this 2022. You know, we tried to get some donations of blocks to try to do a little temporary bathroom there. That didn't happen. As you know, we tried to get the field level, and so we had a lot of setbacks with machinery and stuff like that. But we need that our spirits to have the game. At least, you know, the game is up and running. You know, it's just one of those unfortunate places to be right now when it comes to the power struggle.
Well, once Tris is pondering over the power and who should have the power, we'll just let you know that ACB Caribbean is our platinum sponsor for this program, Coach's View. We also have Brands for Less, Seeker Pharmacy, Digicel, Plumbing Electrical Limited, Zen Body and Skincare, Blue Mountain Water, Pine Hill Juice, and Cool and Smooth. They are also on board with us to make sure that we stay, you know, with you, make sure the network is up and going. What happens after cricket now, Chis? Because obviously there'll be cricket, and I'm sure that football will want to start their preparation and so forth. What happens? Because I know there were some plans to do some work on the field. I know there was supposed to be a master plan. Is that completed?
No, it's not completed. Like I said, we're just trying to get the community up and running, you know, so we could have a real solid platform to work from in regards to personnel. We have pointed out a few people that we could approach to be a part as members, strong members, people with influence in the community, and that's our next get to target. The in an eventuality, I mean, the park is still going to be there for anybody. You know, we just need to come together as a community and let it build itself.
Okay, so in terms of the sport that is now playing, what about equipment and so on? How did you go about and get some equipment?
Let me start by giving thanks to a few people. I mean, I will start with Dallas Thomas, good friend of mine in Australia. I would start with Abdul Hughes, who, you know, we had an academy a few years ago, and he introduced the academy to us. You know, Mr. Robert James, who was kind of persistent in getting me to try to bring back the cricket, because he said he tried with a few other players, former players, and it didn't happen, didn't work out. And you know, a few other people that, you know, they just had Mark Charles donated some gears, Winston Benjamin, some, even yourself. We got some covers from yourself and so. So we did a little begging here, begging there, you know, to get where we are today. You know, we had to spend some money personally, but, you know, you can't, I never seen a dead man spend money yet. So I just, we just did what we had to do.
And I see that I remember I was discussing what the CV Farm logo would look like if you just have a closer look and see and that obviously is the CV Farm logo. Quite creative. Is that a coal pot?
Yes, it is. Coal pot.
Yes, a coal pot with a
cricket ball at the top. This one represents the cricket team.
Right.
So for the football, we'll have a football on the top,
right,
you know, and then a basketball.
But then what would be the logo? The
logo covered, no, the coal pot along with some stars at the top.
Okay.
Would govern all
right. So that would be the CV Farm Sports Club logo, but
yes,
the different
yes.
sports,
we'll have
the ball will be
represented
in the coal pot, and all of us understands that the coal pot is a symbol of CV Farm. That's where the traditional coal pots were made, you know, out of clay. The famous coal pot, very good symbol, symbolizing the coal pot with CV Farm.
And we brand our nickname as the creators.
Okay.
You know, so CV Farm creators.
So and that will be for all the team, all the
cricket team, you know.
CV Farm creators, and then the football will have probably.
I don't know yet. We don't know.
Okay.
We get to that.
Okay.
We get to that. We get to that.
Okay. Right. But that is very good. I think it's very important that whenever we form these type of bodies, that something symbolizes the community, the community. And I think that the coal pot, just like you mentioned, is something that is very synonymous with CV Farm. Are you happy with what has happened on the field? You happy with how it's looking to start back and so on?
In regards to the field or the turnout of players? In terms of the
field, in terms of playing surface and so forth, you happy?
I'm not 100, well, I would say about 65% happy.
Right, well, yes, we're never really happy, but to get it back, you know, and get it ready, that matches can be played. You must be pleased that at least
yes,
you've got it.
Definitely. Right. And I was, Mr. Arundel had spoken to me that, you know, he liked what he saw.
Right.
You know, we got 2 turfs that we could practice on. And, you know, just the atmosphere is different for right now, you know. It's kind of like English atmosphere after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's basically what we're driving for, to have a good setting and a better surface for all to take part in And you know, family can come out and see the ocean from a distance.
And Seaview Farm is one of those grounds, and I know that there's a few. There's Factory, there's Seaview Farm, there's Pickett's, there's Rising Sun, there's Bowlands. You know, Seaview Farm is one of those grounds where it is close by to a major highway that people will always stop by whenever there's cricket and
right
so
next to the
right.
Yeah.
So what are you doing in terms of creating that opportunity for fundraisers? Do you run a little stall, a little bar maybe during the home games?
We tried to do some barbecue on the weekend. Like I said, the crowd wasn't there, so it wasn't successful per se. Right. I mean, we had one or two sales. We had a donation from Miss Kenisha Hughes, who donated a Bones Castle and a popcorn machine. She's from the community also. So yeah, there's people that has donated also. You know, we had a sound system up there for the whole game. You know.
So who do you play this weekend? Obviously there will be 2 days, so you'll probably have two.
I have Newfield on Saturday. I don't quite remember who the next game would be, but whosoever will make them, I mean, that's basically it.
And any idea as to where those matches will?
The first one will be Saturday, will be at home. I think the next one will be away.
So you're playing on Saturday?
That will be in Willie Keys. Yeah,
right,
Willie Keys on Sunday.
So on Saturday you're playing at Seaview Farm, and then you play with. So for the folks who are out there, definitely, if you want to go out and see Seaview Farm, you know, back after 35 years, that must have been a sight. I can remember when Pickett's didn't play for 20 years, and then they came back. You know, everybody was so excited. Newfield and Willie Keys as well was out of cricket for quite a long time. But is it concern interest, because you have Seaview Farm back, who haven't been playing cricket for 35 years. You have Willie Keys back, who have been playing for a while. I think this is Newfield third or also year after a very, very long time. So that leaves only a couple of teams. You have Police, Mahaiko, and another team. Is it
Police, Mahaiko?
Is it Police, Mahaiko? Is it Freetown?
Yeah.
Those are the teams that make up the Parish League. Is it a concern that it is dwindling so fast?
It must be a concern. It has to be a concern. I mean, like I said from the beginning, we as former players, our players need to take a hold of the community when it comes to sports. You know, that's the only thing I think. Because if we don't, we're just going to keep dwindling away from sports and have nothing to play.
Because there were teams like we said, there were teams like Pickett's used to have a team.
Sweets
used to have a team. St. Paul's, John Hughes, Erlings. You know, those teams are not there. And I actually tried to get Sean, but obviously he's got some commitments today, so we'll get him probably next time, because they've been in a wonderful structure out there in Erlings. I was out there yesterday afternoon. They have put in 3 pitches in the middle of the field. They also are constructing some cricket nets, but they don't have a team. Right. So I think that it needs all heads to come together and maybe start really and truly making that youth league, that youth program definitely happen. And it needs to happen very quickly, so that we can see people moving, graduating from that youth program into the Parish League teams, and then maybe on to 1 or 2 of the ABCA team, because that's what it was. And I think we need to get back to that if we're going to see, you know, cricket staying alive here in Antigua and Barbuda, because with only 6 teams playing Parish League and 10 teams playing the ABCA program, which some of them really and truly are struggling as well, then obviously it doesn't look too good for cricket going forward.
Right.
And the fact that we've just seen the World Under-19 tournament being held in Antigua in early January, I think that would have given some impetus, given some interest, brought some interest to the younger folks, and want to participate and want to reach to those heights sometime in the near future. But we are not seeing that. We're now seeing a drawback. We need to tackle that youth program and
Yeah.
keep sports alive?
I'm looking to start probably an academy maybe about the middle of the year. Well, maybe before that, hopefully as time permits. But I'm thinking of it. I got inspiration from just seeing those young guys come out the other day, and they were enthusiastic about learning the game and stuff like that. So I mean, who didn't come with those shoes?
Right.
They just came and they put the energy in whatever we were doing, and I like that. So it's something that I'm planning to do. I don't know who would assist, but it's on my mind.
And I think too, as a new entity coming back in, well, not new, but as an entity coming back in for a time, it is very important that the support as well, because one of the challenges that has happened is now that you're back, it would be nice for you going forward. You could always turn back and see what has happened from 2022. So I think, getting the young people involved, there are lots of scoring apps and so on, get one of them on the computer or on the iPad to score, to maybe to keep the stats. So because people like to see, people want to know, hey, how much runs were gone, and rather than say, boy, you can't find the book. It is there. So I think that is one way that you can involve the young people as well. Some of them won't want to play, but they can be involved by helping out, managing, helping out with the stats, helping out with the drinks, and these type of things, and so you then start to create that sort of a human resource, which is going to be required in terms of you moving forward as a sports club.
Well, I've actually tapped into a few youngsters now. As a matter of fact, the scorer game, she's right here behind the camera.
Okay.
Nikia Joseph.
Okay.
I also have a young guy. His name is Isaiah Hercules, who has been coming to get some umpiring training. So it's not something that I take lightly.
Right. And that is good, because at the end of the day, is that these positions that we speak about, they actually go right to the very top.
Right.
As a matter of fact, most of the scorers who are now scoring at the international level, whenever there's a test match here, they started with the clubs.
Right.
I know Sharon Joseph, she started with Liberta Blackhawks. I know Katian started with Liberta. And there are a number of females who are involved. As a matter of fact, I think Sharon is the one that controls the scoreboard.
Okay.
And then you have some of them who score for the commentators and different people. And you have some of them as well who actually just do the stats. So when you look at it, it is actually something that they can actually go and make a few dollars off whenever they're regional and international matches.
Well, that was described to them, that I outlined it to them, I mean, they didn't hesitate. I mean,
Right.
I was surprised that they went for it as I asked, and I'm happy for that.
Well, that is really good, because that is one of the challenges that we are having in terms of continuing with the match officials. I don't think enough people, and we always say we are holding the Ministry of Sports accountable, because they have all the young people in the schools. And I think it is time that they make it mandatory that if you're playing school sports, you have to have at least one individual training to be one of those, umpire, a referee, a scorer, so that they continue. And when they leave school, you only want one out of every fifth form to one out of every school, maybe one out of every 4 schools, to take it to the next level.
Of
And
course.
you would have enough to keep that and to maintain that. And when you look, we struggle for referees, we struggle for umpires, and we struggle for scorers and statisticians, because they are not being produced by the schools.
It's a strong point you make, because I mean, somebody has to take over in the future, and you can't just depend on who's there all the time. Everybody's not blessed with the talent that they might love the sport, but they're not blessed with the talent. We got to be real about that. And I approach, like I said, especially the young guy. He knows his ability. And he took on the umpiring decision, like he wanted to do it, whether or not he still come to practice, and so but he's training to be an umpire. And there are others like him out there. We just need to expose the sport to them.
You just need to find those now who want to understand how to put the grass on, how to mark the crease,
that
and
too, yeah.
how to pull the roller, and how to understand, because it is very important that they understand too that these things have to happen for them to turn up on a Saturday or Sunday.
Well,
a lot of people will turn up on a Saturday and Sunday and see the lines marked, see the boundary ropes are out, and so forth. But obviously, there got to be the preparation before the actual play. And so people must understand that if we are going to get to that level, there must be some hard work done during the week, the day before the game, the morning of the game, during the game, so that things are ready for it to happen. And with all sports, even football, basketball, you know,
everything is preparation.
Everything needs preparation. And so it is very important that we get the young people in the community to come out and to be a part. And I'm sure that they would actually enjoy it, you know, once they realize that what they're doing it is more or less an essential service to the sport. I'm sure they would gravitate, and they would really appreciate it.
I've seen it. You know, I mean, whatever I'm doing out there, I show them what needs to be done, you know, once they're around. And I think some of them understand the challenge. I mean, I think we are one of the heaviest roller, man-powered roller in Antigua right now. You know, that has to be pushed by 3 or 4 guys. You know, so I know we had to do some modifications to it recently. But it's a little better, but I'm telling you, it's a heavy roller.
What I see people are doing now, and I think it is quite noble. They're going to AP and asking for those big PVC pipes, and they're making the rollers out of them. What it does, it actually gives you a better surface as well. It doesn't take up the soil as much as they still. I've seen quite a few of them doing that. They've wrapped plastic over them and roll them, and it's quite good. It is just to find somebody who can fabricate that tube where you can put the handle through and so on. But I'm sure there's people in CB Farm who can do that.
I don't think that's so hard. I mean, just to get the metal inside and bore a hole and
exactly. You know, it's to attach. I've seen quite a few clubs now going that way, getting the pipe and making it a good width, 4 or 5 feet, so that when they do one passing, they're almost covering half of the pitch.
Right.
So I think that is the way to go, and get the young people involved, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I actually even went beyond thinking of just a manual roller. I tried to get me a mechanical roller, you know, to make like the work a little bit easier. You know, it's modern times, and we think we should kind of move on to get these kind of equipments around our parks, just like we need a bathroom, you know, and things like that. I mean, I look around Antigua, and there's a lot of people who has traveled back and forth, play sport back and forth, and there's hardly any toilet on the facility where they started their career, where they ended their career. I just don't understand it. You know, and how long does it take to build a bathroom? 2-3 minutes can build a bathroom in a couple of days.
I tell you what, is that, and I think we have to be really creative. There are lots of resources in Antigua. There are lots of scrap that I see sitting around that can be so useful in the communities. For instance, the 40-foot containers. Yeah. We actually have one in our sports complex. We have 2 8x12 rooms and 2 bathrooms in the middle, and it is quite nice. Inside is well panel and so forth, air conditioned, very, very nice. And so if you don't want to get too expensive and get too fancy, there's nothing wrong with a 40-foot container that can serve the purpose. You know, you just get the design done, have it put down, 1, maybe 2 bathrooms if you want. It depends if you want 2 or if you just want 1, just for maybe the use of the public and the players. And you have 2 small rooms. People can relax in if it rains, or if they just want to get out of the of the sun. You can put a shed over it so they can sit on the outside and just keep the bags inside. There's so many things we can do with what is around without being fancy. It can look nice, but not being too expensive. And I think that is the way we really and truly need to start to look, because we have to raise the standard.
Yeah.
We cannot continue that you turn up and you go on that tree to sit down. And what it does as well, Tris, is that when the players finish practicing and they have somewhere that they can sit down as a group, that is where a lot of the learning takes place. If there is nothing, they practice, they pack their bag, and everybody goes about.
It doesn't build team strength.
Exactly.
It doesn't. I reached out to a gentleman that promised to give me 3 containers.
Right.
To be honest with you, and I mentioned it to the committee members, and so he told me that he's building a building, and once he's done, he will assist. And I'm told that the buildings have been finished for some time now. I approached him and he said he's not quite done with them yet. It's alright. I'm begging, so I ain't pushy.
Right.
But I'm still waiting. That was what you speak about. I already have a design to do with bathroom, cut 1 in 2, half it. Male, female, a storeroom for the various sport, what needs to be stored out there, and a little maybe a restaurant kind of thing to bring in some income.
Exactly, and that is exactly what and I sort of like the whole idea of getting something that can put something in back, be a little bit self-dependent, and I think a lot of the clubs around Antigua and Barbuda need to start finding that little, even if your members come in on a weekend or even after a game and you make a couple of $100, believe you me, that will go a long way in terms of moving the club forward, because balls are about $60, isn't it?
Yeah,
you have to buy balls, you have to pay the umpires, you have to buy paint to prepare. So all these things have their expenses, and when the football season roll around again, uniforms, you have to pay to keep the field cut and marked, and so it adds up. And it is very important that we start to look at ways. Yes, we may get a sponsor here or there, but nothing is more satisfying to know that you can write a check, and you can go and get some things done. You may get someone to assist and to give it back later down, but at the end of the day, if that doesn't happen, you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you can't play because you don't have the necessary tools.
One of the initiatives we tried though was to have a donation drive at the gates on Sunday. But like I said, the lack of people come to the games was not there, so we didn't. I remember us doing it for football.
Right.
We were in the Glee moments, Sea Farm, playing some games against Empire and some rivalry games leading up to get into Premium. So we had a crowd setting, we're following games, and so we took a donation. You didn't have to pay,
right.
And if you want to donate something, you could do so. So we tried that, like I said, and it didn't really work out as we would have hoped.
Well, we're actually winding down, Trish. So what I want you to do, I want you to tell the people over CV Farm, what has happened, and and invite them out, so that they can come out this weekend.
Yeah. Let me say thanks to a lot of people who has come out and give their support to what has happened so far. I must make mention of Cherise Brown. She and her husband has been quite helpful. Last minute assistance. We got some chairs from the church through her on Sunday morning. Kanisha Hughes, I mentioned about her. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of help that come from people that I cannot put my mind to right now, but I just want to say thanks to everyone who played a part. And come have a look at the games on Saturday. You might have a son, a brother, a cousin that is a part of the team. Just can give you support.
Well, Trish, to you and all the people who have actually made this possible, getting cricket back up to CV Farm, I personally want to commend you. I know it is not easy. I know it takes a lot. It takes a lot of commitment, a lot of hard work. I'm sure you can remember we came out there some time ago. during the COVID when the police came with their big guns, you know. that is something that we always talk about, and you know we're sure that somewhere, you know, in the near future we will come out again and have a game and definitely have some fun.
You'll be most welcome, man.
You know, but we certainly want to congratulate you, and we want to congratulate all the people who are behind of the CV Farm Cricket and the CV Farm Sports Club.
Yeah, before I go though, I'd like to commend Myra Solomon / Cadgington. She's the president for the football. Lyndon Francis, I call him Mr. President. He's been our president for football for some time prior to Myra. And you know, I mentioned Robert James, my good friend over there, Mom, Jerwin Charles, Joseph, Tekesa Charles, and a few other people who has really showed interest in what is happening. You know, whoever I forget, please hold it against me. Liston Lewis, I can't forget Liston Lewis. You know, Lauren Solomon. These are some people at the back of me who was encouraged also. You know, Mitchell Coates, I'm sure you know Mitchell, play cricket. And yeah, just I will be there.
All right, well, certainly from us here, with the wearing of masks now not being mandatory anymore, we still want to encourage you to still be safe. Make sure whatever protocols are in place, we follow them. Do your social distancing, wash your hands, and just be careful. So from all of us here at Coach's View, ACB Caribbean Coach's View, we want to say thanks very much to Tris for being our guest here. And to you, we want to tell you, continue to be well and to stay safe. Kenny Benjamin here saying, have a good afternoon.